Mina Marni, everybody, which I hope is the Ghana words for happy rising. I'm going to have to fact check that with Mina and the other elders, but my sister Michelle shared that with me this morning on text. And we're wanting to learn, hungry to learn the real law and the real culture with the real original people of Ghana, this beautiful sacred land that we call home. This is where I was born, this is where I live, and Nadri is where the Freedom Farm is. It's still there, it hasn't gone anywhere. The land is the land and it's real, and the permission that I was given by the elders, by Grandpa Louis, and by the women, the Nadri women, to be able to be there on their country and to hold the farm as a spiritual sanctuary, to restore the real law, to make it a safe haven for people. That permission, it's still there, the farm's still there, and despite all of Toby's lies to everyone, the bank hasn't repossessed it, because they can't get a right of possession through their fraud law courts, because they have no jurisdiction and no lawful sovereignty. That belongs to the original nations and the original law holders of those nations. And that's the truth. It's the truth. Doesn't matter whether people believe it or not. Does matter whether people support it or not, because it's actually the people still funding the fraud and acting as if the fraud law is legitimate that gives them their presumption to jurisdiction. And that's all it is. It's a presumption, a false presumption, all based on fraud and lies and false claims and genocide, ongoing genocide. It hasn't stopped. The original people are in extreme duress right now. They're being constantly targeted through the invading satanic state slave system of fraud law. Their children are being stolen at a rate of 6 to 1. Not just stolen from their families and put into the Department of Child Procurement, foster care, but into institutions. The children are being stolen and locked up from tiny youngsters in cages, in youth detention centres, and the rest of the community just acts like that's normal and okay. It's not normal and it's not okay. These are free children in their own free countries, and they just want to be free. They're getting locked up because they won't conform and comply with their slave training indoctrination. They don't fit into the slave system. It's because they're not meant to. It's genetic. They're meant to be free. They're meant to be moving around. They're meant to be connected to their country and their community. They're not meant to be forced to sit in little boxes and absorb rubbish information, curriculum coming from pedophiles. It's the reality. We've got to actually wake up to reality and come back to the land, to Mother Earth, to the original nations, the original sovereign nations that we are standing on, with proper respect for the real law holders, so that we can have honest conversations about how we can help each other sort this out. That's the real law. Help each other. Find solutions. Don't keep hurting each other. Don't steal each other's children. You don't steal people's children. Things that should go without saying. Seems like it should go without saying. But no, the pedophiles write it down on paper and pass it in their fake parliament run by pedophiles for pedophiles to say, oh, we've got magical powers. We can come to your house and steal your children if we like. If we deem that it's appropriate, we'll just come take them. We'll send our pedophile protecting militia, police, with their magical powers to come to your home, and they'll steal whatever they want. They'll take whatever they want. And they do. They abduct adults too. They've done it to me. They've done it to Mina's daughter Jade, come to her home, done an armed home invasion, violence against a gang, violence against an original sovereign woman standing up for free freedom. Stop paying the rent, completely lawful campaign in her country. And the Freemason establishment sent their armed thugs to come and attack her, assault her, bruise her all over, break her finger. And then they raise false charges. They accuse her of assault. She didn't go to any one of their homes and attack any one of them. She didn't go anywhere and cause any trouble. She was at her home exercising her rights as a free woman, sovereign woman in her free country, not hurting anyone, actually trying to help everyone. And the police come and attack her in her home and then accuse her of assault to drag her into their fraud court on her country. The insult and the insanity and the injustice, it's sickening. Sickening, sickening, sickening. We have to see it for what it is. So we've had the foundational women's ceremony for Crows, which is Mina's organisation, Grandmother Mina, senior Gardener law woman, holding to the real law of her sacred motherland. Earth law, peace culture. Beautiful. So much wisdom for us to come back to our hearts, come back to the heart of our shared humanity, to rebuild trust. We've got to build trust with the original women especially. They've been so tortured and abused, used and abused and disrespected. Horrifying. Raped. The women and the children and the land and all of their men labelled as criminals just because they're originals. The originals steal. That's one of the things that people, like, oh, they steal. Do they? Do they? Do they really? Oh my God, come on, people. Like, get some perspective. This is their country and they've had everything stolen. Their country, their home, their homeland stolen. That was all of their food, their country, where their food came from, their water came from, their medicine, their sacred spiritual connections, all of their burial sites, the bones of their ancestors, stolen, dug up, desecrated. And the invading fraud law came and claims everything, puts up fences, locks the original people off their own country, and doesn't want to share anything, won't share. There's no sharing in the fraud law, selfish, me, mine, possessive, disgusting, satanic cult culture. So, stolen everything, put up fences, locked the original people off their own sacred motherland, and then label them a criminal when they want to take something back for themselves and their people. That's not stealing. That's called collecting the taxes, the real taxes. They haven't had any other means to provide for themselves since they've been kicked off their own country by a mob of thieves. Thieves. That's what we all are that haven't come the proper way. We're all thieves. Our ancestors, thieves, criminals, rapists, murderers. We can't change what's happened, but we can take responsibility for realising that that was all a horrible, horrible, horrible mistake. Catastrophic mistake. Absolutely evil what was done here in the sacred First Nations of creation when this colonisation came from a far off queen that had no business being here, far off British crown in all of the forms that that takes, no right to law here. Sovereignty was never ceded. It belongs to the original people and nations. They are the living proof. The fraud law system has been asked to provide evidence of their lawful sovereignty. They haven't done it. They can't do it. They don't have it. The British Crown never had it. No right to be here. No right to be colonising. No right to be sending slaves and convicts. No right to be stealing land. No right to be trading here. The corporations controlled by the Illuminati and the international banking cartel most certainly have no right. No lawful sovereignty. All lies, all fiction, made up to empower the rich, powerful few at the expense of the real people of the land and at the expense of the many, the cattle class, the expendables, the human herd that they manage and that they feed off of, that they steal children from, and they're pedivores. They eat children. Cannibals. It's the Illuminati. They're disgusting creatures. Not human. They look human on the outside, but they are evil. Predators. And I know, because I've been their victim. A lifelong victim used by them in their evil cult under their Illuminati monarch trauma-based mind control programming. That's a real thing. Educate yourself. If you don't know about it, there's plenty of information. It's horrific. The stuff that has been going on, hidden in plain sight. Horrific. It's an absolute miracle. It's an actual real life miracle that I am alive and I have lived to tell. And it is only through divine intervention, divine protection, and the sovereign protection and wisdom and guidance of the elders. The Creator, Spirit, and the elders intervened to save my life. And they're still protecting me now. And so it is, my honour to work and serve the original law holders and to be a voice for the truth and to work to make amends. I haven't done anything to hurt anyone of my own free will, of my own conscience. I always try to help people. But I have been used for absolute evil and abused by so many people. The whole cult participated in gang raping me. Ugh, ugh. They're so vile, 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 filthy, filthy animals. Absolute animals, not human. Creatures. They're psychopaths. They have no empathy. They're motivated by a lust for power, cult status, power over others. And the more evil and deceptive they are, the greater cult status they have, especially when they can keep up the false facade, because they love mocking the people of good faith. They love that the people of good faith trust them, these wolves in sheep's clothing. They feed off that. They suck it up. Big black holes, sucking in all the good energy from the good people, and then getting together and having their little orgy rape parties, sacrificing the babies, torturing animals. They're big into torturing animals too. Don't talk about that because, you know, we can't even cope with the reality of what's going on the surface level, let alone, you know, what's going on in the underworld. Horrifying stuff. We don't want to focus on the horrifying stuff. We want to focus on solutions. And that is what I'm doing with the original people. So, Crows, Mina's organisation, cultural restoration of women's services. It's about women coming together to support and heal together as women and put the proper protections in place for ourselves and each other and our children, to work together to keep our children safe. With respect, with proper respect for the real law and the real law holders, learning together about the real culture here. Educate ourselves. We've been lied to. So that was such an honour on Tuesday to be part of that women's sacred circle, peace circle. We had peace tea. We had a tea ceremony. We had bush tea, native bush tea. We had a smoking ceremony. We had the beautiful Ghana children dance for us. What an honour. What an absolute honour. And there were 3 of us that were welcomed into the Crows Women's Circle of Trust. And that's an honour that has to be earned. It has to be earned through being trusted. You know, that can't be bought, can't be demanded. No one has a right to it. No one has a right to be trusted. You have to earn it. You have to earn your place by proving yourself trustworthy. You've got to demonstrate that you actually care, that you're learning, that you're listening, that you have real respect, that we're coming together as sisters, restoring the sacred sisterhood, the sisterhood of the sovereign nation soil. And that can only come through making peace, real peace in our hearts, heart to heart, miwi to miwi, soul to soul, with the original women, as women, with the original law holders. So that's a beautiful thing, and that's a beautiful pebble in the pond, putting out a ripple of hope for humanity and real peace and real healing from right here. Ghana country, Mina's people's country. And that's really exciting news for us. And we're going to be doing more, coming together. There will be more crows We need to do fundraising. We need sponsors. We need volunteers. We need help to do the work. We need petrol money. We need cars. Mina needs a new car, people mover, a good one, a reliable one. Hers was stolen, and she has to take back the RAA hire car that the insurance provided today. So she had that for 28 days or something, in case the authorities, the false authorities, could perhaps do their job and find her car and bring it back to her, but that hasn't happened. They're busy stealing children, not finding stolen property. Anyway, we need real help, real resources, and people of good heart, good intent that want to come together for the right reasons and rebuild trust and learn, listen to the elders and learn the real law. And we want to do People's Peace Alliance pop-up picnics as well. So they will be for the whole community. So People's Peace Alliance is what Grandpa Louis offered us to come together, and that's where we need to plant our native plant, native tree or grass or shrub that belongs on the nation that we're on, at least once a year. That's how we renew our membership and show, demonstrate that we want to learn, that we know where we are, that we want to rebuild trust, we want to rebuild community with real respect for our elders and the real original law holders of these sacred First Nations of creation. So we want to have pop-up picnics in the parks to meet the elders and to share some meals, share some food, share some conversation, and just get together and get to know each other and have a conversation without being managed. Like the Freedom Community rallies with Kathy, the MC. She's family cult, mate. It's a reality. It's a family cult run stage show, theatre, production, to control the conversation, to keep the people talking round and round in circles and never getting to the truth, never getting to real solutions, keeping everyone trapped and disempowered. Got to get rid of those managers that try to control the conversation. We're not having them anymore. We're just getting together, grassroots level, human to human, and we'll decide who we trust. We'll share the conversation that's real and meaningful to us. We'll listen to the elders. They'll give us the directions. Kathy doesn't have any authority. She doesn't have any permission to speak here in Kaurna country. So she's violating the law, the real law. And there are consequences for that. And that's what we're going to see lots more of now. As the energy of the real law is getting stronger and stronger and stronger, the people that are in violation of that are going to really be suffering the consequences, and they're going to be seen for exactly who they are and held responsible for what they have done. Okay, that's enough for today. I love you guys.